Welcome to the Explainer. All right, today we're diving in and building your ultimate SQL toolkit. We're going to give you all the essential commands you need to unlock the stories hidden inside your data, from the absolute basics all the way to the power tools the pros use every day. Let's get right into it. You know, all that data you have, it's just sitting there, packed with valuable answers. But here's the thing, it's locked away. You can't just walk up and ask it a question in plain English. You need a specific language to communicate, to ask the right questions. That language is SQL. And today we are focusing on the part that does all the heavy lifting, the Data Manipulation Language, or DML for short. Okay, so like any good toolkit, you gotta start with the essentials, right? The foundational tools you're going to reach for over and over again. Well, in SQL DML, that whole foundation is built on just 4 core commands. And here they are, the big 4. Insert is for adding brand new rows of data. Update is for changing stuff that's already in there. And delete, well, you can guess what that one does. But select? Oh, select is your real workhorse. It's how you read and retrieve data. And while it looks simple, you can power it up with clauses like where to filter down to what you need, group by to create summaries, and having to filter those summaries. These 4, simple, powerful, and absolutely essential. So you've got your basic tools, but here's the reality. Data is almost never in one neat little box. It's usually spread out across a bunch of related tables. So the next tool we need in our kit is something that can connect all those dots for us and build that bigger picture. And that tool is the join. A join is basically how you tell the database, hey, look at these 2 tables at the same time and link them together. It does this based on a common piece of information, like a customer ID that shows up in both a customer table and a sales table. It's the ultimate connector. Let's see it in action. We're telling the database to select the customer ID and name, and we're getting them from both the customer table and the sales table. But the real magic happens right here in the where clause. This is the instruction that links the 2 tables together, where their customer ID field matches. And boom, look at that. Here's our results. The query perfectly filtered everything down to just the 3 customers who show up in both tables. We connected the dots, and we got a crystal clear answer showing us exactly who made a purchase. All right, joins are fantastic, an absolute must-have. But what happens when the question you need to ask depends on the answer to another question first? For that, we need to pull out a real power tool, the sub-query. A sub-query is pretty much exactly what it sounds like. It's a normal SQL query that's nested inside of another, bigger query. The inner query runs first, it finds an answer, and then it passes that answer to the outer query, which then finishes the job. It's a 2-step process in one command. Now, for our toolkit, we're going to focus on 2 main types. First, we have scalar subqueries. These are designed to return just a single value, like one specific customer ID. And second, we have table subqueries, which are built to return a whole list of values that you can then check against. So you're probably thinking, okay, so when do I use a join and when do I pull out this new subquery thing? Well, here's what's interesting. Sometimes you can actually use either. So let's put them head to head and see how they both solve the exact same problem. Check this out. On the left, you've got the join, linking the 2 tables to find the customer name for a specific sale ID. Classic approach. On the right, the subquery does it differently. First, the inner query runs to find the customer ID for that sale. Then, the outer query takes that single ID and uses it to find the name. See that? 2 totally different paths to get to the same destination. And the final result? Exactly the same. Both methods correctly tell us that Sagar Subedi is our customer. This proves that for a lot of problems, choosing between a join or a subquery really comes down to what you find more readable, or sometimes which one performs better. But, and listen up, because this is a huge but, there are some questions that a join literally cannot answer. This is where the subquery goes from being a cool alternative to being your only option. Think about this very common business question. Which of our customers have never made a purchase? You can't join a customer to a sale that doesn't exist, right? This is where the subquery is a total game changer. We use a table subquery with the not in operator. It first creates a list of every customer who has made a purchase, and then it asks the outer query to find all the customers who are simply not in that list. So let me just say that again because it's so important. When you're dealing with negative conditions, when you're looking for what isn't there, a subquery is often the only tool for the job. This is true for not and, which we just saw, and another operator called not exists. Joins are built to find matches. These operators find the exact opposite. And there you have it. The proof is right here. This query gives us a list of all the customers who have no record in the sales table. This is an insight that a join, just by its very nature of connecting matching records, could never have given us. Period. We've covered all these tools for connecting data that's related. But what if you just want to combine the results from two completely separate queries? For that, we need our final tool, and it works very differently from a join. That tool is union. Now, don't get this confused with a join. It doesn't link rows based on a common value. It literally just stacks the results of one query right on top of another. The key thing to remember is that union will automatically remove any duplicate rows, giving you a clean, unique list. Union all, on the other hand, is a bit faster because it just grabs everything, duplicates and all. And just like that, we've done it. In just a few minutes, we've assembled a seriously powerful and versatile toolkit for talking to your data. So let's do a quick recap. Your toolkit starts with those 4 core commands: select, insert, update, and delete. Then you have joins, your go-to tool for linking related data across tables. You have subqueries, your power tool for those complex, multi-step questions, especially the ones that joins can't touch. And finally, you have union, your specialty tool for just stacking different result sets together. With this toolkit, you now have the language to ask really sophisticated questions and unlock the amazing stories hidden in your data. So the only question left is, what are you going to discover? For more explainers that build your skills, make sure you subscribe to our channel.